Ladies and gentlemen, we got a great video today for the 2025 Ultimate COD Zombies map ranking list. This is by Mattress, so shout out to my mans. Let's get into this, man.
So I'm doing a thing. I play Call of Duty Zombies a lot. It's probably the game that I've played the most growing up as a kid and then into my adult life. And on previous YouTube channels, I've done rankings of every Zombies map. But this is the ultimate ranking.
2025
every single Zombies map from World at War to Black Ops 6. Non-Treyarchs are included. The only thing that's not here is Extinction. That's not Zombies.
That's true.
I'm sorry if the green screen is going to look terrible. I'm not good at green screen.
I don't have a green screen.
So
he's better than
I apologize. So I actually haven't played all of these Zombies maps in a while. I'm not currently up to date with every single one of them.
True.
I haven't played freaking Ascension Black Ops 1 recently.
I did.
But I'm going to go ahead and rank
Dang,
them
you got
off
me there.
of my knowledge of them at this point in time. And then I plan on going through and playing every single one of them eventually.
Cool.
And then I will re-rank them to see how they hold up.
not many people go back and play
So
them.
we have 61 maps to rank from worst to best.
My gosh.
So this is going to be a long
61.
one. At number 61,
soon.
the legitimate and official worst Zombies map of all time.
There it
is Der Anfang.
Yeah.
I
like that this is always the bottom.
That this is not the worst map.
Like
there's genuinely nothing you can do to tell me otherwise.
True.
Like I've got my notes right here to kind of like go through each map and say the things that I like and don't like about them.
It's actually insane how many people I see go back to Vanguard to try these maps, and it's like that's how you know something's wrong.
And this one just has a sad face. Like that's it. Terrible game. Terrible map, terrible engine, terrible perk system, terrible
multiplayer
objective
zombies better
system, whatever the hell they were trying to do. Yeah, just straight garbage.
Throw it to the garbage.
Do not go and play that game. I would, if I have to go back and play it again, you're gonna have to do a lot for me to do that.
For real.
It's just
couldn't pay me a billion.
Poop. Never want to touch that game again.
Yep.
Never map game.
I'm assuming all the Vanguards are down
at
here.
number 60, the second worst map of all time. This used to be the worst until Der Anfang came out, but it's Infection.
Ooh,
this is Infection from Advanced Warfare.
This map
came
horrible.
out in 2015. Some of you weren't even born yet. But this map
legit, bro. Talk to Twitter right now.
I know Der Anfang is god awful, but this map there's
the bottom.
no point in ever playing this map.
It's like neck and neck is bad.
Just of Advanced Warfare Zombies was just not
horrible.
Good at all.
No.
The guns are super weak for one. Like you have 25 pack-a-punches. Is that what it is?
Yeah,
use a pack-a-punch your gun like 25 times for
the
it
map
to reach its like max potential.
What are we doing?
It's still not good at all. The Easter egg is stupid.
Yeah.
All of Advanced Warfare's Easter eggs
What's
are stupid.
sad though is that this map was infinitely more popular than anything Vanguard did, and it's still one of the just worst experiences.
There's survivor rounds where you have to like go escort your grandmother from one end of the map to the other.
Literally,
and if you don't do it, then the game
McDonald's
ends.
Worker, man.
And then I'm pretty sure by round 30, the map just locks you into a sewer with like an alligator.
Yeah.
And you're literally just stuck there for like the rest of the game. The Easter egg, you're making a hamburger.
Literally.
Why?
In the sewer, by the way.
Garbage tier. If Vanguard never released, this would be the worst map of all time.
I agree.
Moving on.
Yeah.
All right, coming in at number 59, the Tortured Path from World War II.
Okay, I'm liking these picks.
This map is pretty much just like
not zombies,
3 or 4 survival maps like put together, and you just have to do objectives.
It's crazy how the bottom 3 maps literally share the exact same concepts of like small, unreplayable multiplayer type experiences
to move to the next one. And this was still back in the day where you had to pay for DLC.
Literally.
So you couldn't get to the next map without completing whatever the Easter egg was for the first one. If you're someone who plays casual zombies, like doesn't do Easter eggs and just plays the game, do not buy the DLC for World War II.
Just don't buy World War II.
Rest in peace to your $15 if you did.
Yeah, literally.
You have to do like these stupid Easter egg quests.
If you burnt $15, it'd be more
stupid hard for no reason
map.
To go from one map to the next. And then once you're done with it, there's no reason to replay it because all you have left are a bunch of survival maps.
It's crazy because this map literally looks like Der Anfang from a glance. It's like literally World War II zombies, throw it in the garbage.
With
World at War,
no personality, and I think they're all just multiplayer maps, to be honest.
Pretty much.
Yeah. It's just god awful. Please don't
ever go back and play this, man.
All right, next on the list, number 58 is the Beast from Beyond from Infinite
These are
Warfare.
good picks. These are good picks.
It was DLC 4 for Infinite Warfare, and it's just bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty much just Extinction.
It's unplayable if you're casual. It's literally
Need I say more?
Literally.
At this point in Infinite Warfare, the game was just they just I don't think they cared at this point, which is weird to say because after this map you get the greatest boss fight of all time,
literally,
or boss fight mode with Mephistopheles, and I don't know how that even came from this map.
I know,
it's just
it's
like
such
stupid
a backwards
hard
thing.
but it's not even one of those things where it's like, oh, it's replayably hard. It's not fun
it's
at
just
all,
ridiculously
and
tough.
the Easter egg is just it's poop.
Terrible. It's
all right. Next, number
fight.
57 is Alpha Omega. I genuinely hate Alpha Omega.
I am so glad people are coming to the realization that this map is a piece of trash. This map ages like milk over time because this was not ever supposed to release in BO4. Thank you. This map is terrible.
Has literally aged like milk.
Yes.
Super ugly. Like probably one of the ugliest zombies maps I have ever seen in my life.
They made this in like
just
2
green
months.
And gray. The Easter egg is like super boring and
pointless.
Like, almost pointless.
Yes.
Honestly, all of BO4 Aether storyline is pointless, but I'll talk about that at another day.
Don't tell us.
Speaking of pointless, the Wonder Weapons are also pointless.
Horrible.
Because in this map, you have the Ray Gun Mark IIs, and there's upgraded abilities for them. And the base ray gun.
Here's the thing with this map of Voyage of Despair. How are you going to add 4 variations to a wonder weapon when the base version is the best? It's like, I mean, even the die used to do that with D Machine until you could upgrade them.
Mark II is better than all of the upgrades.
Literally.
What's the point?
Exactly.
And this is also the map that you can have no power.
Let's ignite for round 100.
And get to round 100 with a freaking ballistic knife.
Yep. Well optimized.
Why? All right, number 56 is Bus Depot.
Oh,
There's
fair.
not much explaining to
It
do.
is literally sad that a map that took them 2 seconds in 2012 is better than like 5 maps today.
With Bus Depot, it's literally like the worst
that's pretty
survival
sad.
Map. It's just, I don't understand the purpose of it. Like, I get it. It's like trying to be like the Nacht Der Untoten of Black Ops 2 or whatever. But at that point, just go play Nacht. There's no reason to play
Let's go play the Nacht and
The map layout is not good at all. No perks, just a mystery box in 1 door. And I think the percentage of getting the Ray Gun Mark II on this 2%. Map is like 0.01%.
Literally.
If you've ever made it past like round 30 on this map, then
you're insane. You're cracked.
I don't even know what else to tell you.
Yeah.
All right, number 55, we have Terra Maledicta. It's Vanguard.
I mean, you might as well just rank the Archon in here too, because that's Terra Maledicta but green, man.
I guess it's better than Der Anfang.
It's the same map.
It's not saying much at all. I think they introduced the ray gun into this map, and it was bad.
I've never played this map.
And
I don't
54 right after it is the Archon,
Terra Maledicta,
whatever it's
green.
called. I have no idea. It's literally Terra Maledicta, but it's like a different color. I think it has like a couple of different things in it, but like...
I still, to this day, cannot believe this happened. And I also cannot believe that there are people that defended this. That might even be worse, arguably.
The base of the map is still the same thing, and then you have like a shield as your wonder weapon. I don't think that was in Terra Maledicta.
It's horrific.
So,
here's my thing with Treyarch, right? It's like, if they're going to pull something this sad, where they recopy and paste the map in a different visual filter, why don't you just hire custom map makers who are already making incredible things on the workshop? It's like, just do it. Just go ahead and go for that at this point, you know?
A little bit different. Number 53 is the Frozen Dawn from World War II. This is just,
I've never beaten this Easter egg,
World War II DLC just not being good. Yeah. I'm pretty sure this was DLC 4, and it's just so hard for no reason.
Yeah, it's just
like
awful.
No casual player could literally just load in to this map and make it like past the first like 5 rounds without just giving up, because you literally have to do a quest to do everything.
Yeah.
Like if you want perks, you have to do a quest for it. If you want to open a door, you have to do a quest for it. And it's stupid.
Like I know maybe 5 people that like this map, maybe.
And it's like really dull and just like fog and gray and just
nothing.
Literally. And also Fortnite. Yeah. At number 52, we have Forsaken from Cold War. Now, this...
Honestly, I respect that you put Forsaken this low, because I think this honestly might be aging like Milk, kind of like Alpha Omega. This map is just... It's just 5 rooms stapled together. There's nothing here.
It's just super disappointing because I feel like Cold War maps are some of the maps that have aged really poorly over the last few years.
I agree.
And Forsaken is the worst map, and it's just because it's so lazy.
You know, I actually respect this. I usually think Firebase Z is lazy, but it's like, man, this map was like literally custom zombies type material, you know?
Like, this is probably the laziest map design
of all time.
Out of every zombies map.
I agree.
Like, you just have like a street.
Like, at least Duran Fong tried something, you know? But this map is just like, it's just ripped campaign rooms with teleporters.
And then you teleport to like another street, and then you teleport again to another street, and then that's it.
I still can't believe this map was the finale of Cold War. I mean, sure, the boss fight was fun. The Easter egg was way too quick. The Chrysalax was great, but it's like...
The only redeemable thing about this map is the Chrysalax, which is a really cool wonder weapon. And I think that's one of the first, like, just pure melee wonder weapons
we've
that
ever
have been
seen
in zombies. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right, and then at number 51, we have Operation Deadbolt, which is...
Wow, I actually didn't think you would include this. This is genuinely sad that this is above 10 of your maps. I think this game mode is horrific, honestly, but it's probably more fun than everything he stated at this point.
Is Modern Warfare 3 zombies? This is just, it's not zombies. This is not at all what zombies was supposed to be.
I mean, Extinction is more
DMZ,
zombies, I feel like.
I guess you kind of like this, but it's just not really that good. If it was PvP like DMZ was, it would probably be a little bit more enjoyable, but just like doing quests and then you exfil and...
I always say this, like PvPvE would have been so amazing. I literally made a mode in Fortnite of town zombies, PvPvE, and it's just so much fun. I don't know why they're so afraid of doing that. Like, since Grief.
And then following that same thing at number 50, we have Outbreak from Cold War.
Yeah.
This was Treyarch's attempt at getting that open world objective style of zombies map, and it flopped. I feel like it just didn't have any personality to it. Like, it was literally just like...
It's really sad because apparently this is coming back for Black Ops 7 in 2025. Ooh, just... What are we doing? What are we doing? Like, how is this? We're about to get a 3rd iteration of this mode. And I agree. I still think Outbreak from Cold War is probably better than even MW3. Like, sure, there's more to do in MW3, but it's just the pacing of that mode is so slow. And it's time gameplay.
Oh, here's you a random spawn point in the middle of an open field. Do this one thing.
500
and we're going to move you to a snowy biome with nothing in it, and you're just running through trees, doing another objective, and then rinse and repeat.
Yeah.
The only thing good that came out of Outbreak was Zoo.
Zoo!
Zoo is GOAT.
Best map.
The Easter egg was okay. Boss fight was, they had 2 of them, which is, I think, one of the only zombies maps that...
I always forget that this mode got 2 Easter eggs.
Has 2 boss fights.
What are we doing?
2 more, I don't even remember. And number 49, we have the Darkest Shore from World War II.
Wow.
Just More World War II DLC.
Yeah,
this is actually DLC 1.
Great way of saying
and
it.
after the final Reich, which was actually a pretty good map,
Yeah,
people had a
good.
little bit of expectations for if this map was going to be good or not, and it was not.
I would argue that this is like top 5 ugliest maps ever released. Maybe like honestly could be number 1. Like honestly.
At all. The map is 1 pixel, and it is
gray.
Just 1 shade of gray.
Yeah.
Forget 50 shades of gray. In World War II Zombies, we had 1 shade
Just
of gray.
1 shade of gray, man.
And that was it.
And maybe another
Once
shade
again,
of brown.
one of those type of things where you just have to do a side quest or like a side Easter egg to just do anything in the map, which for a casual player or even just somebody who just wants to sit down and play zombies and not have to do 10 different things just to get Jug, it's not fun at all.
I think that is like the nail on the head as to why the World War II DLC flopped. Because it's like, even though I know people like Shadow Throne, it's the same thing. It's like so much things that you have to do that are just meaningless.
Nobody wants to do that, Sledgehammer.
Yes.
The Wonder Weapon was just trash. I don't even remember what the name of it is. You'll have some Wonder Weapon gameplay on the screen. So
let's
nice.
Go, man.
And then number 48, we have Attack of the Radioactive Thing from Infinite Warfare. This was DLC 3 from Infinite Warfare.
Honestly, this map has grown on me a little bit. Like, I've liked it just a bit more than I used to, but it's, again, like, top 5 ugliest maps of all time. Just look at this map.
And it's not terrible. I'd say this is probably where we move from just, like, the god-awful maps into, like, the... You can play it. I don't know why you would, but...
Exactly.
You could find something out of it.
Why are you
super ugly? Same thing with, like, Alpha Omega. Like, it's just green and gray. Yeah. Which I get that's the aesthetic that they were going for because it was based in the 1950s, but I don't understand why you would want your zombies map to just look ugly.
I mean, dude, there's way better aesthetics of the 1950s than this, like, washed out color. Like, this just looks horrific.
The Wonder Weapon was just whatever.
Terrible.
Like, I don't think it was good, but it wasn't
horrific.
Like garbage either. It was just kind of there.
Garbage.
And then the Easter egg, you literally need a PhD in chemistry to solve half of these steps, and it's ridiculous. And this map was very poorly received on launch, not only just because it was not a good map, but Zombies Chronicles, I think,
was released
like a week before this.
And this DLC got
I don't even think
shafted.
they released the trailer until like the day that the map came out. A lot of people didn't even know that this map existed because everybody was playing Zombies Chronicles.
Yeah.
At number 7, we have Firebase Z from Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War.
I respect your Cold War hatred. I have to say, like, I agree. Any map that starts with F in Cold War is near the bottom, but for real, these maps were garbo. So here's a great way you can tell if a map is bad or good or not. Like, let's say I just stop uploading zombies, you need a gauge to figure it out. Okay, are people playing the map or talking about it even a year later? And that is not the case with Firebase and Forsaken whatsoever.
And this map is just, it's depressing that it's so low. Because coming off of D Machine, which was a really good map, this map just literally had zero personality at all.
Yeah.
Which is sad because this is one of the only like originally made zombies maps for Cold War.
Yeah.
Like this wasn't a multiplayer map or a Warzone map or anything like that. This was this map.
And I hate it because I feel like the hatred for this map made Treyarch be like, okay, we should just copy the campaign maps. And it's like, no. Like, make original maps. This map's layout is actually very similar to like Ascension almost, with like the jumpers kind of being like the lunar landers. It's kind of similar to Ascension, but it's just bland. There's like no life to this map.
It was literally made for zombies and it just was not good.
Yeah.
The Easter egg was super boring. It was really tedious and just not that fun. There's so many boss zombies, like the mimics. Just spawned all the time, and they were ridiculous. The lockdown rounds, or I don't remember. Is that what they were called? The aura rounds? I don't even remember. Where you had to like defeat the big boss like every like 10 rounds or whatever. I did not like that at all. And then the one redeemable thing that was really, really, really good about this map was the Reich, but they nerfed it like to the ground.
Guess what happened? Then they nerfed the Citadel Day Moore swords, and now they nerfed apparently the ice staff, like the hand cannon strat. It's just like, why are we nerfing things?
It's still a usable wonder weapon, and it's still pretty good, but I will never understand why we are nerfing things in a PvE game mode. Who is getting the competitive disadvantage when I'm using something that's overpowered? Like, genuinely, are zombies complaining to the developers?
Dude, literally, I saw Treyarch in a blog post. They said the zombies were not complaining. Then why was it patched? Why was it? Brother, why was it patched? If the zombies are not complaining, Treyarch, why was it patched?
That I am too overpowered in the game.
I remember when glitches were fun. I remember playing Black Ops 1 Zombies just to find glitches. That was the whole, like, gameplay loop for me as a child. And it's like, that is just gone nowadays, you know? That should be a fun part of any game, is the glitches.
In a game mode,
I don't know, maybe that's just me.
The goal is for you to become the most overpowered version of yourself.
For real.
Number 46, the Shadow Throne, another World War II DLC.
I respect that you put this above half of Cold War, to be quite honest, because I think this map did a lot of good concepts, and I think it's even actually more remembered than Firebase Z and Forsaken. So honestly, spit your facts.
Now this one's, it's bad, but it's one of the better World War II maps.
Yeah.
And to me, the only reason why it's good at all is because it's like just a watered down version of Gerard Krovy.
For real.
It's that same kind of, like, it was set in Stalingrad and just trying to base off this war bloody depiction thing. Yeah. And so the setting was there and the atmosphere is there, but it was just so, like, dead on the inside.
True.
This was the definition of just being, like, beautiful on the outside, but just absolutely nothing on the inside. It had no core about it.
The reason why I hate World War II Zombies is just look at your screen. It's just gray. There's literally no color. Like, when you compare this to GK, it's like literally night and day difference, man.
Like, the Easter egg was not good. The wonder weapon was not good.
The sword
was good. The story was not good.
Yeah.
But the map looked good, and that's about all you got out of it. And then at number 45, we have Blood of the Dead from Black Ops 4.
It's crazy that it's this low.
Oh, man. A lot of the people still debate on if Blood of the Dead is actually a good map or not. And I played Black Ops 4 right when it released, and I was playing Blood of the Dead with everybody else because that was the one map that everybody was super excited for.
Yep.
And it just left such a bad taste in my mouth with the release of Bo4 being terrible and the Easter egg being super, super difficult.
I fully agree. That is such a great point because Blood of the Dead definitely contributed to the bad launch of BO4. I fully agree with that because most people were playing this. Most people did not care at all about the Chaos maps, and they were all playing Blood. And then as soon as they figured out it was nothing like Mob, they're like, what are we doing? I just bought a whole $60 game for nothing.
And it was just, like, unnecessarily difficult. Like, why do we need 42 locations to find a freaking bird?
For real.
Not a casual zombies map at all, especially compared to Mob of the Dead, which was a difficult but...
Which was the best casual map and the best hardcore map, in my opinion, ever to drop. No zombies map has perfected the difficulty curve like Mob of the Dead has. Not even Origins. I don't think so, because... I mean, you can play casually on Origins, but it's not to the same level like you can on Mob.
But anybody could load into Mob of the Dead and figure it out in a game or two.
Yes.
Blood of the Dead, it was literally just meant for hardcore players.
I agree.
Like, if you're not a hardcore super Easter egg guy, there's no reason to play Blood of the Dead at all.
Yep.
Especially considering that they removed all of the good features about Mob of the Dead.
And it's crazy because it's like the Blood of the Dead defenders, just because they saw the BO2 Mob of the Dead pre-alpha, they're like, oh, the map was supposed to be like Blood of the Dead initially. It was supposed to be like Blood of the Dead initially. Well, it's like... Why did they actually axe it then for the launch of Mob, and then they made it much more easier for everybody, right? Like, it's crazy because it's like they went back on their original ideology and it failed. So it just goes to show like how what they were trying to emulate in BO2 and BO3 was still what players want to this day.
They remove Afterlife, which was one of the best parts of Mob of the Dead, which replaced Quick Revive, which also gave you another perk slot. But BO4 perks are not okay. I don't want to go on a BO4 rant because
no, but it starts with this map. That's actually such a good point. That's why I actually respect that this is like one of your lowest BO4 maps next to like Alpha Omega.
I could easily do that too.
Yeah.
Blood of the Dead had an amazing story to it. It's just the process it took you to get there was not enjoyable at all.
Nope.
All right, number 44, we have Carrier from Advanced Warfare.
Carrier made it.
Super forgettable map. I think this was DLC 3, and it was just like a facility map.
I like that you put this below Outbreak, though, because I used to like this map over Outbreak, but it's like the complexity of this map. It goes into that like World War II problem where they're like, oh, everything needs to be like a very convoluted Easter egg.
Like every Advanced Warfare map, it's just, oh, you're in this one little facility area. You have to kill all the zombies and escape. Yay. The Easter egg is lame, along with most of the Easter eggs in Advanced Warfare.
True.
Weapons are bad. Just the mechanics of Advanced Warfare are
one
just
of the
not
worst
good. And this map
mechanics.
just being kind of mid just did not help it at all.
Yeah.
There are some like goofy little fun things about it. Like there's like a Plinko game where you can like throw a grenade.
Probably
and
the best
bounce
part of that
around
map.
And you can get rewards for it. I think there's like a drunk mode where you can literally like consume alcohol and your character becomes drunk and it's like the screen gets all blurry and stuff like that. So that's pretty fun. And it's also one of the only zombies maps that has a dual spawn area. So if you go into this game in co-op, you will spawn on one side and then your friend will spawn on another side and you can't get to each other until you both like get to the power. So that's cool too. And along the same lines of that is number 43, which is Descent. It's pretty much the exact same.
I love on the top, it just says decent. That's like literally exactly the same word for it.
As Carrier. It's just a facility map, and it's got a little bit more features and a little bit more goofy fun things than the previous maps.
Yeah.
But it just looks different. Like you go from being like on a ship to underwater.
It is literally so sad that this to this day is still our only underwater map. We have Voyage, but that's not even like an underwater map. We don't actually like it took until Leviathan to come out on BO3 for people to be like, oh my gosh, like this is why underwater works with a zombies map.
So that's pretty much it.
It's just sad.
Number 2, we have Farm from Black Ops 2. It's kind of whatever. It's one of those just kind of mid maps. It's just a survival map. It's better than Bus Depot because it has perks. So
Farm is above Outbreak and Modern Warfare 3. It's above a whole game. This one survival map. Honestly true.
That automatically bumps it up like 10 places. It's pretty fun with friends. It's kind of chaos and hectic. And if you got 4 people in here trying to survive a farm, it can be pretty fun. But other than that, it's just kind of mid. Yeah. At number 41, we have Outbreak from Exo Zombies, which is the first
that you put this at the top
in Advanced Warfare.
It was the best.
This was a good start to Advanced Warfare Zombies. I feel like this could have created something better for the mode, but it just the DLC.
It's sad that most of the non-Treyarchs, like the way it starts is like launch map is the best, and then it just goes like that as the DLCs progress. Like it's literally like, oh, Spaceland's amazing. Oh, Rave's really good, and then it's like, oh, Outbreak really good. Infection though, shoot. Then Carrier comes back and it's like, oh, you know what I mean?
It just kind of flopped. Very bare bones, just the basic structure for how to make a zombies map, except this time there's exosuits.
True.
But the mechanics of AW are just still not good.
It's like
the fact
that Exo Zombies Nacht Der
20-something times just to get a weapon that's still not going to take you past like round 40.
Yeah.
The Easter egg was okay.
Terrible pass.
It's the first exfil cutscene.
I don't know how every zombies game after this saw this pack punch system, and they're like, let's include a pack punch system where you have to put the pack in multiple times. I still, to this day, believe that the best pack punch system is Black Ops 1 because you put it in the machine once and it does an amazing thing after once being used. That's what we need to go back to. Like, enough of this, like, putting it in the pack punch 5 times, 3 times, 4 times because it's Black Ops. Just let it go, man. Put it in once and let it be something good. Please, bro.
Actually, so
why is this system still in the game?
Cool. All right, number 40. This map is the reason why I've chose to make this video.
Let's go.
I like to argue with people on the internet about
the
Call of
Tomb?
Duty Zombies map, especially people that
Tomb.
just think a map is good because they played it when they were 10 years old. And this is the one that I would usually argue the most about, and it's Transit. So number 40 is Transit. It's not a good map.
Nope.
You can never convince me that this map is good.
It's always a fun co-op map, and what's crazy is, remember at one point, this was the worst zombies map that ever released. And now we have 21 experiences where this man said is worse than Transit. Like, crazy times we live in.
Sure,
crazy
you had
times.
fun in 2012 when you were 9 years old and you played with your older brother and he took the bus without you and you laughed, and sure, it's great memories and nostalgia, but that does not make the map good.
For real.
I'm not going to carry on too long about it, but you know the basics about why the map isn't good.
But what's insane is that people are still going back to this map and Rise and Bury to play those Easter eggs. And it's like people still care about the world records, right? So it goes to show that something this map did was still correct. And I will probably even be making my own guides for each of these maps as well soon.
Good. Terrible design, terrible map layout. The fog, just ridiculous. There's no point in it. The only reason the fog is there is so your Xbox 360 doesn't fly out of your window. The mechanics of these Victus maps and BO2 are also just not good.
True.
Only being able to carry one part at a time. Some of the buildables are just genuinely pointless. Like, there's no reason to build them at all. Only being able to carry one of them, and you pretty much need the turbine for everything. So once you have that, there's no reason to grab the shield or electric trap or the turret or anything else.
I always said, like, when I was going to be working on a Transit remaster with Zella and Dobby, they might actually still do this idea. I hope they do. That if you're going to remake a Transit, like, 1-to-1, the one thing that you should change is obviously the parts being able to be picked up instantly, but also make the turbine a buildable that you can always hold. Because then if you can hold a turbine and a jet gun, or a turbine and a shield, like, that instantly makes the map way more replayable. It also just makes sense because the other buildables are powered by the turbine, like the sentry gun and the electric trap. So
the jet
why don't
gun,
they do that?
Absolute garbage. Just genuinely terrible.
True.
You have to find all the parts and build it just for it to break, and then you have to go find all of the parts again and then rebuild it. If you're playing on solo, getting Pack-a-Punch is genuinely a nightmare. You have to drop your turbine off at the power station and then run through the fog all the way to town and then throw a grenade at a door and hope that the turbine didn't break, because the zombies still go after the turbine even though you're 300 yards away from it.
If you had a second buildable, like the shield where you can plant down, that helps out so much.
Just like, the idea was there, but just terrible mechanics, terrible map design. And it's not good. You will never convince me it's good.
True.
If you think it's good, then you're just bad at zombies. And then following that up with a map that is not much better. It's number 39, and it's Rise. Rise suffers from the exact same things as Transit.
A lot of people ask me about the remaster. I believe it'll be coming out this year. Again, I'm no longer a part of the project. I was just sort of like a sponsor or promoter. But honestly, I think when this map comes out on BO3, I think a lot more people will be more happy about it.
It does.
And more.
It has a little bit better of a layout. I enjoyed the verticality of Rise. I think it's very interesting. It's very unique. There's no other zombies map that looks like Rise does. But to go along with that, you need to have things that assist you in verticality. Why is PhD Flopper not on this map? I have died on this map to fall damage and falling off the map more than the actual zombies itself.
Yep.
Why?
Yep.
This map came out and it literally made so many people want to quit zombies. And a lot of people left the community because BO2 was just so bad. Terrible start, terrible launch maps. It was...
I mean, I was about to quit playing COD on this map. And it's crazy how I was like sponsoring this map at one point, you know? And... like, if it wasn't for Mob of the Dead, I would not be here, man. So it's true. Like, this map is bad. I don't want anybody to get that misconstrued. It's a bad map.
Not good. Rise, I hate you.
Yeah.
And then following that up with another Black Ops 2 map. It's number 38, and it's Nuketown.
I like that he squashed them all together.
You can't call Nuketown bad because it's literally just a survival map. but I think it's pointless. It literally did not need to be in the game. You already had maps like Town, you had Farm.
It's better than Alpha Omega, though, which is really sad.
You had Bus Depot, you had your survival maps, and then you had this like $5 DLC bonus map, which is pretty much the same thing as Town, where it's like, okay, you have your perks, you have your Pack-a-Punch, it's a couple of rooms, but the perks are random.
That's such a good point. Like, why would you play this map and pay for it when Town was literally free with the game? It makes sense why Town was the most played map in BO2 for sure.
I think random perk drop literally just ruined this map for me. If you could spawn into the map and all the perks were just already laid out, this map would probably be like 20 spots higher. It's a fun survival map,
Combat
but
trading,
just the idea of random perk drops is just so bad and so stupid. Like, I do not want to wait until round 25 to get Jug. And sure, you can say it's mad because bad, whatever, but it's just like, why would you
not
want
replayable.
Yeah, there was some good things out of it. The M27 was in this map. That's the only map that this gun was in, and it was really cool. So, yeah.
That was it.
Number 37, we have Groesten Haus from World War II. This was like the second launch map that came with the game. It was just a small
I think this is one of the best survival
pretty
maps.
Fun. I kind of enjoyed it. It's one of those things where, you can get Pack-a-Punch, which I think you just get Pack-a-Punch guns from the box. You can get perks. There's like their little version of like a Wonder Fizz machine.
Survival map.
It's a super small map. You can play with a bunch of friends, and it's really hectic and chaos, and you can have fun with it. But I mean, it's nothing more than just a bare bones basic survival map.
For real.
Then at number 36, going along with survival maps, we have Nacht Der Untoten. I can't say anything bad about this map. It is literally the...
I love how people are now listening to me and ranking this map in the middle. Because it's like, it's not bad. It's not good. Like, Nacht might literally be the definition of mid. Because it's like, it started it. You can't place it good with all the greats. You can't place it bad with all the horrible experiences. So it's mid.
The very first zombies map of all time.
True.
Sure, it may be boring in today's standards of zombies maps, but this was the very first thing that ever came for zombies.
Yeah.
If you didn't have this, you would not have anything else.
True.
So you can't rank it bad, but I also don't think you can rank it very high either.
Exactly.
It's very boring. No perks, no Pack-a-Punch. You literally have a mystery box, a couple of wall guns, and then like...
I always gotta appreciate something about Nacht, though, is that like the old idea of World at War, like suspense of like the zombies creeping up. Now people just get bored, right? Because we're all like crack fiends for attention and all this dopamine. But it's like back in the day, it was about the suspense. That is really fled from COD Zombies for sure. And that horror aspect for sure, too.
3 doors.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then another survival map, number 35, we have Town. I actually like Town.
I think it's the best survival map
getting into the tier of like decent maps. Like I could go back and play it. I wouldn't mind going back and playing them.
Town's fun.
They're still pretty fun today. And Town's like
everybody knows Town.
It's just your all-around survival map. It has everything you need. You got your perks, you got your mystery box, you got your Pack-a-Punch, you've got your wall guns, you got open areas to train, you got a couple places to camp. Like when it comes to a survival map, it's literally all you need.
For real.
And this map is literally what carried Black Ops 2 until Mom of the Dead came out, which is very sad.
Yeah.
And at number 34, we have Nacht Der Toten really from Black Ops 4. Now, I like TOG because I like Call of the Dead, and because it's Call of the Dead, I'm just like, yeah, you know what? I just like it by default. But
I don't think I've ever met someone that likes TOG more than Call of the Dead. I mean, other than the one guy, CJ. But I know he even liked Call of the Dead. So, but I also think he's just a BO4 lover at the end of the day. But honestly, like, yeah, to me, this map is in the mid tier for sure. It's a fun map, but it's just... why play it when Call of the Dead exists? And I think Call of the Dead's more fun.
But the characters, I did not understand why we brought Victus back for Call of the Dead. Made zero sense.
Yeah, literally doesn't make any sense.
And the fact that this was the last map in the Aether storyline, also very stupid.
Yeah.
The Wonder Weapon.
I really don't think Blundell planned this to be the last map. I can't understand why that would have been a thing.
Weapons were absolutely garbage. You had the Thunder Gun in there, which was good, but like the unique Wonder Weapons, like the Tundra Gun, and then like BO4's version of the Wonderwall, they were like so bad. Yeah. Very easy.
Tundra Gun got buffed. It's apparently now better than the Thunder Gun if you have PhD, but like also, who cares? Helion Salvo.
High rounds though, you can be a casual player, and you can, if you can get the Thunder Gun and get the Helion Salvo. You can sit and get around 100 in like 2 hours.
Yeah.
They also introduced Golden Pack-a-Punch, where it was just different Pack-a-Punch machine that
should have brought it back to
in
each
one
of the
time
maps
for 5,000 points, and it would give you all of your abilities for it. It's pretty much what normal Pack-a-Punch is without all the other stuff you have to do. At number 33, we have Voyage of Despair, also another map from Black Ops 4. This is technically the first map in BO4.
It's sad that, like, the first Chaos map is the worst one. Like, I don't know what it is with Treyarch where they're like, oh, we're going to introduce a new story. And then, like, the first map is just garbage. Like, why do they do that? Transit for Victus, Voyage for Chaos, right? Like, why? The only crew I think that, like, actually had a good launch was, like, the Dark Ether story with D Machine.
The game launched with 4 maps at the start, but this is technically the first chronologically. And this map had so much potential to be absolutely amazing, but they genuinely found a way to make the Titanic boring.
What a great statement. It's like, I just went and played this Easter egg like a couple of weeks ago, I think, and it's just so sad because it's like so many of the concepts of this egg are amazing on a map that isn't the Titanic. It's just, I almost feel like this map is like low-key disrespectful. It's like literally disrespectful. People died on here. And like Blundell's like, oh, chaos story, elements, planets. Bro, make it a sad story. People died on this boat, bro. Like, it makes you wonder what we're going to get in 100 years after all the tragedies we're seeing today.
Like, I genuinely don't understand. They're going to put this crew on the Titanic, and instead of trying to save the ship from sinking and rewrite history, we're destroying planets. I just genuinely don't understand what was going through their mind when they were like, all right, we're going to set this map on the Titanic. It's going to be a 1-for-1, but...
This could have been the first map as well ever that, like, mid-Easter egg completely changes the layout. And it's like they relegated that to an ending cutscene. I was like, honestly, at the beginning of BO4, I was the most excited for this map because I was like, it's going to change. It's going to have this like massive, like Black Ops 4 is going to show us with all these like new NPC characters and there's going to be stories. There's going to be none of that was in this map. None of that. It was just horrific, man.
Literally, the Titanic still sinks. What was the point?
Exactly.
It's still a very beautiful map, though. Like, the atmosphere of being on the Titanic is amazing. The Wonder Weapon was kind of mid. The Kraken, it was whatever. And then just a problem with BO4 in general, there's just too many boss zombies. Too many different types of zombies running around. I did not like it. Then at number 32, we have Shaolin Shuffle from Infinite Warfare.
It's sad that this map is above Voyage, but it's kind of true. This map has more fun mechanics than Voyage, for sure.
This was DLC 2 in Infinite Warfare, and I genuinely like this map. I think this is a pretty just goofy, fun
grown
map
on me
that
for sure.
IW brought out. I think the setting is really nice. Like the New York City 70s vibe I thought was really cool. The map's pretty fun. It's got like your kind of wacky and goofy things that happen in it, your goofy side quests. The Wonder Weapon is pretty cool. It's literally like you're just karate fist, which is really awesome. The only problem with this is just the Easter egg. Yeah. It's stupid difficult. You have to do it to like get everything, laborious. And the boss fight's not fun. No. And it's sad because this map could have been super.
It could have been really amazing,
but I feel like the Easter egg just literally ruined it. Then at number 31, we are at the halfway mark, and this is Verrckt.
It is insane that the second zombies map of all time is better than half the maps we have today. That is insane.
I feel like Verrckt is a good map to put as just kind of your middle-of-the-road map. It's the first map that introduced perks in World at War. It's super, like, scary. I love just how terrifying this map is.
True.
Really,
we don't get suspense in zombies now.
It's super hectic and fun. It's hard to get high rounds, but it's still replayable in the sense that you always want to try to do better every time you play it.
True.
So yeah, Verrckt, middle of the road. I think this is a good spot for it. I love Verrckt, and I wish I could put it higher, but there's not much else to it to give me any reason to make it higher than this. True. And then at number 30, this is going to be a little bit controversial, but as somebody who was here and experienced this, I don't know if I can put it any higher than this, but it is Revelations.
Wow.
It's just such a disappointment. Such a disappointment.
You know what's crazy crazy? I have a friend in real life that this is actually his favorite map just because of how overpowered you are. But it's like, ultimately, I have to say, I am starting to believe that this is the worst BO3 Zombies map. I hate to say it, but it's like what we wanted, like a map with all the other maps conjoined to it, was just not a good idea. It just didn't mesh
Black Ops 3. We got all these amazing maps in BO3 and this amazing story, and then just this ending was just awful. I don't think this map should have ever even came out. This map should not exist because this should have been the Great War map. Yep. But they put this in so they could have the Great War for BO4, but then it never came out in BO4, so it's just...
I think that's why I dislike this map more. It's because it's literally a red herring that Blundell did right from Shadows of Evil for the Pack Bunch upgrade for the Apothecon, and it just wasn't worth it. The build-up, the amount of time people spent Easter egg hunting for the upgrade, it just wasn't worth it. It was not worth it.
There's no purpose in it.
Yeah.
And sure, it has a lot of fan service. It has all of the old maps in it, and everybody thought it was cool when it released, but then the Easter egg was super buggy. You're shooting rocks for half of it. Yeah. It's just a very disappointing ending. High rounds are fun, though. If you're a new player, I would recommend you playing Revelations if you want to get high rounds. You literally have some of the most like overpowered guns in the entire history of zombies in one map. So as it's not a bad map, I just cannot put it any higher than this.
I agree.
All right, and then at number 29, I have Rave in the Redwoods.
Sheesh.
Rave in the Redwoods was DLC 1.
Well, listen, I even remember saying like Spaceline was better than Revelations, and it's true. It's true. I honestly, I kind of respect that he's putting Rave above Rev 2. Like,
for Infinite
Warfare. It's
Warfare.
a fun map. The two best maps on the
Spaceland, it was a really, really cool map, and everybody was kind of hyped for it. I feel like with the reception that map had, everybody was looking forward to DLC. It was
pretty fun. Yeah.
And it was okay, but it still just didn't live up to the hype.
I agree.
Still just coming
not
off
as good
of
as
the fact that we just had BO3 not too long ago and Zombies in Spaceland. The map was just, unless it was going to be just this amazing map, it kind of was designed to fail. Yeah. They had a really nice atmosphere. I liked the... I can't remember what the mode was called, where the lights, and it was just super colorful and stuff like that, but I thought that looked pretty cool.
I think it's acid mode. Do they ever explain it? It's just like they put fairies in a pouch. I don't know.
And I love the 90s slasher, the aesthetic. I think that's like a super cool idea.
Yeah, this map had vibes
map.
for sure.
And it had a nice Easter egg. So
yeah,
it's
Easter egg was fun.
Once again, it's just kind of one of those middle-of-the-road maps. At number 28, we actually have a Vanguard map that doesn't suck absolute balls. Shi No Numa from Vanguard.
I'm impressed that this map has been rated so highly. I'll never go and play it, but like people have actually really enjoyed this map over time, and it's kind of crazy.
It's okay. It's literally Shi No Numa.
This above Rev is wild.
So it helps it a little bit. It makes it a little bit better of a map, but just Vanguard's engine and just that whole zombies engine that they had just does not work for round-based zombies. So even though they tried, and they did okay at it, it just didn't really work that well. I do like the Easter egg, though. I like Shi No Numa with an Easter egg. It's a short and simple kind of Easter egg, but I feel like it worked out pretty well.
I think that's why this map worked, is it's because people liked Shi No Numa from World at War, and then they just added just like the tiny littlest bits to it to just give it that extra flavor. And from what I'm hearing, it added more to the map and the experience. So, I mean, good on Vanguard. They did one thing right. Crazy.
Well, and it wasn't too bad.
To me, it was just too little, too late.
We have Liberty Falls
from
Black
Liberty
Ops
Balls.
6. And this may be recency bias, but it's been a couple months since the game has come out.
Right.
And I still think Liberty Falls is a really good map. For it pretty much being a glorified survival map with an Easter egg, I think it's super fun. It's super casual. If you just want to...
I agree. It's like, it's up there with Town. I actually think this is like one of the best survival maps we've gotten, especially because of the buff jet gun. And especially after the Tomb, where we've seen how they treated the ice staff so poorly with just like spitting on its legacy. Whereas this map actually appreciates the jet gun. So yeah, it makes me like this map more for sure.
Hop on zombies, go pack a punch, a gun or two, get all your perks, and just go to like round 40. It's literally the perfect map for that.
I agree.
It's got a fairly simple Easter egg along with directed mode that helps you through the Easter egg if you want to do it that way too.
Most played BO6 map,
I think
by the way.
The BO6 engine, which I was somebody who wasn't really a fan of like the Warzone implementations into zombies. I'm
still not a fan of
BO6 does it really well, I would say.
Yeah.
So Liberty Falls is a good map. It's not a great map, but
we just hope for a BO2 sequel that they keep the BO2 mechanics. Is that asking for too much? I don't know. Maybe it is in 2025.
It serves its purpose. Then at number 26, we have D Machine, which was the launch map for Black Ops Cold War. And I really like D Machine. This was the map that I was pretty much playing all the way until Nacht Der Toten came out. So like 7 months into the game's life cycle, I was still playing this map. And it is...
This map has good replayability. It's fun. People liked watching the Easter egg runs. Like, it's fun for high rounds. It's a good map.
Really basic. It is really bare bones, especially coming off of the mess of, like, Bo4 and the complexity, and we went back to this kind of very simple bare bones map. I think it was the perfect time for that to happen. There was a lot of streamers and people that didn't really play Call of Duty that were playing. I remember watching, like, Tfue get to, like, round 100 and stuff like that. And so it was just really cool to see these non-zombies streamers.
Like, you could make an argument that this map is more successful than Black Ops 6 even. And I would honestly, I could maybe even agree with you on that. Like, this map brought the community back for one last hurrah. I really believe it.
And YouTubers getting into zombies because of Cold War. And then this was the map that really like made us think that Cold War was just going to be this really good game because we had a really good engine. The gameplay was super smooth and the map was really good. But then the DLC just kind of...
fumbled it.
Then at number 25, we have Shi No Numa from World at War. I'm pretty sure, other than Doris, this is the highest ranked World at War map. Amazing for high rounds. That's literally the only reason you go back and play Shi No Numa. It's a fun map. It's got the introduction of Ultimus, and it kind of starts the storyline for zombies. But the only reason you would ever go back to World at War Shi No Numa is to just get as high of a round as possible. Yeah. You literally get a Wonderwaff and PPSH or trench gun or just any kind of gun off the wall or in the box, and then you use the flogger and you use the other gun to kill the...
See, this map is a great example of what I was saying earlier, where it's like the glitchiness of this map is what gives it its character. And it's like, this is the thing that they're removing with zombie maps now. It's like they're removing the glitches which give the maps character. Like, that's why Shi No Numa on World at War is this high up. It's higher up than Revelations, bro.
The dogs and just you know how it goes. Really can't rank it any higher than this just because it is on the World at War engine, so it is really buggy. And because they fixed how the high rounds worked on the newer remasters of
they all suck.
It kind of loses that like, reason that you would play it.
Exactly.
It's like, who is going to play Black Ops 3?
Exactly. In my honest opinion, the worst BO3 map, if we're talking all of Chronicles, is BO3 Shi No Numa. Even though it looks absolutely gorgeous, there is literally 0 point to ever go and play it. Especially now that if you want like a more gameplay Easter egg orientated one, you got the Vanguard version. It's like
Shi No Numa in 2025. You know? At number 24, we have the final Reich, which was the launch map for Call of Duty World War II. And this is another one of those examples
very
of
underrated
a really
map.
good launch map that made us think that the rest of this game was going to be really good, and then the DLC just flopped. But I really do like the final Reich. I thought it was really cool how they implemented the Easter egg where you had a casual mode and then a hard mode. So like any person who just plays zombies could easily just follow the notebook and you just do the casual Easter egg. And then once you learn the map, and
it's crazy they've never brought this back since this map. Like it was an amazing feature, and they just said, nah. Like, dang, it's kind of crazy. It's like, I guess now we have directed mode, but it's like, I feel like the notebook is still better from this map than even all of directed mode, because people don't play directed mode to do the Easter egg. They play it for camo grinding on round 15. You know, so it's like, in my opinion, I think that literally proves my point.
Play it a couple more times, you then do the hard Easter egg, and that's where you kind of have the really difficult challenges of doing an Easter egg. The Wonder Weapon's pretty fun too. The Tesla Ray or whatever it was called, I liked it.
It was pretty good.
And then I really liked the aesthetic of the final Reich in World War II and how they were trying to do this gritty, like dirty type of map where it was old and just made you feel like war, but it wasn't ugly.
Exactly.
Because I feel like that's what World War II ended up doing. They took this grittiness and then just applied a bunch of gray and green filters, and it just made all the maps ugly. But I feel like the Final Reich had a little bit of color to it, and it did look really nice. Then at number 23, I have Terminus, which another kind of recency bias, but I really do like this map. I think, once again, with the Bo6 engine, it just really helps elevate this map, along with the map layout.
I appreciate Terminus and Citadel a lot more after the Tomb. Like, it's definitely not recency bias. Like, I do think this is one of the best maps we've seen in a long time. But, yeah, Is it still up to like the top of the top S tiers? Definitely not. But it deserves to be up here in one of the best maps we've received for sure.
The fact that you have this like one big island and you can just hop on a boat and just go to these other little islands too, like that is the only something that you could do in Black Ops 6.
Exactly.
And the fact that they were able to do that type of layout where it's that really big map, but it's still round base and it feels like round base zombies. I think it's a really good map. It's got a fun Easter egg. The bosses are a little crazy, but I still think it's fun.
I'm just so glad they removed manglers for the tomb. No more manglers. Just take them away. I know now, like, the new manglers, the amalgam, because everybody's like, why is this on Citadel and the tomb? So we'll see. I just think, like, enemy spam, boss spam is such an issue with this game, personally.
The Wonder Weapon is okay. The Beam Smasher is nice, but I don't think it's as good as the Jet Gun is on Liberty Falls.
Yeah.
So if it was a little bit better, a little bit more stronger, it would probably be a little bit higher up on the list.
I agree.
But
the Beam Smasher
is
a little weak.
A bad spot for it. The number 22, we have the highest rated Cold War map, and it's Macht Der Toten. This is definitely the best map in Cold War. Yep. Really nice gameplay, just again with that Cold War engine and just how smooth the game feels. Really cool Wonder Weapon. I think the Cerberus is really...
It's funny how, like, zip lines are so amazing in zombies. Like, my favorite BO1 Zombies map is Call of the Dead with zip lines. My favorite Cold War map is also Macht Der Toten because of the zip lines. Zip lines in zombies just work. They're great. I wouldn't care if every single zombies map we got had zip lines. They're just amazing. They're so much fun.
Cool. You really only use like the base variant. I really never used like the other two that you could pick up off the ground, but just the base Cerberus was really fun to use.
True.
High rounds were fun on the game. The Easter egg was simple, but the boss fight had a little bit of a challenge to it, so it was easy leading up to it, and then you'd get into the boss fight, and that was really where you had your challenge. The map design is really nice. I know it is kind of, it comes out of the campaign, I'm pretty sure, but the flow of the map works really well, and Klaus is awesome. I love Klaus. He's probably one of the best,
definitely the most character
that you have in zombies, and I just think he's really fun to use, and yeah. And number 21, we have Classified from Black Ops 4. This is the 5
respect that you put it this high up,
and it's 5, but worse.
I agree. I do think that this map is worse than 5, but still this map is like actually one of the best maps on BO4.
5's already got a good layout, so it kind of just helped this map still be pretty good. It's nowhere near as good as 5 is, but I still think it's a fun map to play. But the problems of the BO4 engine, and it just doesn't really work with it. They took out the Pentagon Thief, so...
The biggest L of this map.
It's a fun map for high rounds, but the fact that the Easter egg is you have to get to round 150, that's... stupid.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like a casual zombies player could go into Classified and get to like round like 50 or 60 fairly easily.
Even if it was 100, it would have been better. I'll never get that, man.
But asking for round 150, that's like 9 hours of game time.
Yeah.
So that technically makes it the hardest Easter egg because you have to put in 9 hours worth of time just to solve it.
It's around 12,
ridiculous.
I think. Yeah.
And the fact that the Wonder Weapon's still pretty garbage, but nobody uses the Wonder Weapons in BO4. It's always just a Helion salvo.
Yeah.
And here we are at number 20. I have Dead of the Night.
Yes.
I feel like that's going to be kind of controversial to people that didn't really play BO4 and just, it's always...
This is one of the greatest maps we've received. Honestly, like, Dead of the Night gets so much hatred, but it's like, honestly, rightfully so. The promotion for this map was terrible, but just the concepts and like, especially if you like the whole Dracula Nosferatu lore.
People talk about how Dead of the Night is just this terrible map. Which it's really not. It just had an awful launch. If we were talking about how a map launched, this map had the worst launch ever in history of Call of Duty Zombies. And I don't understand why this was. This was DLC 1 of Black Ops 4, the first map after we had 4 maps at the...
I think it's because the studio was literally in a meltdown after the launch of the game. Like, they just did not know what to do. Blundell was probably already signing his resignation letters, bro.
Launch of the game. And, like, they didn't release a trailer for the map until, like, a day before the map came out. And there was a lot of people that didn't even know that the map had released either, which was it was so strange why they did that. And it's sad too because it's such a beautiful map. Like you can go in there and there's so many little like detailed side Easter eggs that
I always think like if this was the map that launched with the Chaos story, which was the original plan, and Voyage was actually supposed to be a DLC, I think people would have actually been way more on board, to be honest. But it's just the voice acting issues, which sucks as well, because it's like The voice acting in this map is honestly arguably worse than BO6. I think it's still worse than BO6. I would rather prefer AI than what we have in this map.
You can do the main quest is like super complicated, and if you're not like a hardcore zombies player, like it's not meant for casuals like at all. But the little side Easter eggs that you can do and just the amount of detail that they put in that map, it's so sad that they literally just killed it with the marketing. At number 19, we have 5. It's better than Classified. 5's a good map. It's got a good layout. I think the characters really is what makes 5 way better than Classified.
I think honestly what makes this map so good is also the BO1 system. Like, it's just something is missing when you play Classified. But it's like when you go back on the BO1 system, this just feels so much better.
The fact that you can play as the presidents and other world leaders at the time during Vietnam, I thought that was super fun.
So cool.
I always only wanted to play with JFK though, so like I was the guy that was sitting there restarting until I got JFK. The Pentagon Thief was really interesting, and he was a hard boss, but not super annoying. Like if you know how to manipulate and how to kill him, and that way you get the bonfire cell, which was one of the most interesting and probably one of the best power-ups of all time.
Best rewards for a
Wonder
boss.
Weapon is absolute garbage though. The Winter's Howl, I don't know why that thing was created. I just it was terrible. Then right after 5 at number 18, we've got Kino Der Toten. I really hold these maps, like if I'm going to rank them, I pretty much always put these right next to each other because I feel like they're almost like brother and sister maps.
True.
Like you've got the one map that's the really casual and they're still kind of laid out very similar. It's a lot easier, and then you've got the difficult map, which it just helps them mesh together very well. I mean, Kino Der Toten, it's the most iconic map of all time. It's the theater map. Like everybody knows what Kino is. It's a glorified World at War map. It's got your pack-a-punch. It's got your perks. It's simple layout, simple boss zombies. But, I mean, it's Kino. It's super fun. You play it with friends. Everybody knows what Kino is. So, yeah. And it introduced the Thunder Gun, which was also one of the most iconic wonder weapons of all time. All right, at number 17, we have the newest and most current zombie map at the time of me recording this, which is Citadel Day More.
Hey, okay, so good thing the Tomb hasn't released, because honestly, I think we would have seen the Tomb already, just because it's not that great. But yeah, I respect that Citadel's up here in like the A-S tier. I think
it's awesome at the fact that this map can be ranked this high.
True.
And you could probably rank it even higher too.
Yeah.
Once again, the recency bias, we're going to have to see how the other maps go and just how Black Ops 6 just...
Well, it's funny because it's like the Tomb makes me appreciate this map a lot more, to be honest.
Progresses throughout the year, but I love this map.
Yeah, this map is amazing.
It's up there with one of the best DLC ones that we've ever had.
True.
It honestly could rival DE. I don't think it touches DE and just how nice the map is.
I think it can stand with DE, but I still think DE's better, but it can definitely stand with DE for sure.
And how the Easter egg is, but it's so close to just getting into that great tier of zombies maps that I don't know. I think the swords are such a cool wonder weapon. I just wish they would buff them. I think they all could just use like an all-around buff to just make them better and make you want to use them more.
I spit facts, man. I spit facts. I'm telling you.
But other than that, like, there's not really much that I can say bad about this map.
It's a fun map.
Right at this time, I feel like we're getting into the really good maps.
Goats.
They're not great, but they're like just on the edge of being just the iconic and great maps.
Yep.
And so I feel like to start that off at number 16, I have Moon. And a lot of people are probably going to find that controversial just because I know a lot of people love Moon and they say Moon is like top 5 zombies map of all time. The one thing that Moon does have, it is the greatest finale of any Call of Duty Zombies game ever. The fact that you're doing the Easter egg and then you just blow up the Earth, and like at the time nobody else had any idea what was supposed to happen with Black Ops 2. It was so insane.
Yeah,
it's a fun map. I love BO1. It just I don't
still
know
like
how
Call of the
they
Dead more
went
than
from
Moon.
this like super beautiful map like Shangri La and Kino with just how the detailed and how nice it looked for 2010.
BO1 was an adventure,
to this
man.
Just gray,
I know,
black blob.
Yeah.
BO3 Moon is absolutely beautiful though, and I love the map. It's just RNG is just one thing that I hate about
BO3
it.
Moon.
The fact that the Easter egg is mostly just based on hitting the box, and so you could either have one of the quickest runs or it could literally take you 3 hours.
Yeah.
And coming in at number 15, I have Ancient Evil from Black Ops Ops 4.
The respect,
and see, a lot of people didn't even play Ancient Evil when it came out, just because a lot of people had just given up on BO4 at the
I like that he put Ancient Evil below 9. I still, to this day, believe that this map is good, but 9 is better. 9 is just way more simplistic than this map, and in my opinion, it does it better. The boss is way more regal, too, in my opinion.
At this point, but I love this map. It's so good. I love the setting of just this, like, ancient time. I think it's in Delphi.
One of the
so it's just like
most
this
beautiful
ancient,
settings
like,
for
Greek
zombies map we've ever seen.
I don't even know, but I just think it's super cool. And then the wonder weapons are really cool. I think that the swords and the bows are like the best 3 of like the 4 elemental wonder weapons.
Gauntlets,
I think the gauntlets are super cool.
Yeah.
And I think this is one of the maps that actually uses the BO4 engine, and it actually makes it make sense.
That's why it's
and it's
the
so
best.
sad too, because at this point, this is when finally people started to care about the chaos story, but because it wasn't received good in the first 2 maps, and then Dead of the Night wasn't received good, that they just decided to end it here right when everybody got interested in it.
Yeah.
So it's sad that we didn't get to continue chaos, and then we got the garbage ether, whatever the hell that was. And at number 14, I have Ascension from Black Ops 1.
Yes.
I love Ascension. I think it's a really
lovers.
good map. Is the very first Easter egg in zombies history, and it kind of just really blew.
People forget about this map so much nowadays. I'm just so glad there's people that appreciate this map. Like, honestly, it's such a good map. It is an amazing map.
Up the idea that there is a story behind everything that we're doing in this mode.
Yeah.
I really enjoy the map layout. This map is actually in the campaign and in the multiplayer. So the fact that they can reuse that map, but it still just works really.
This map is the perfect example of like how when people are like, oh, you can't complain about reused assets. Well, it's literally, yes, I can, because this map, even though it reuses all of the map assets, it still is completely a different, distinctive experience from campaign, MP, and zombies, man. And that is why I love Ascension so much. It just proves all these people on Twitter wrong daily.
Well in zombies just shows how good of a map design that it is.
Yes.
I like the lunar landers. I think they're a great way for transportation, and it just flows really well. And Ascension is the only map to introduce 2 perks in the one map itself.
Insane.
Because Ascension was the map that introduced PhD and Stamina Up. And there's been no other map in zombies history that has introduced 2 new perks. The only real criticism that I have for Ascension is just the monkeys. I think in Black Ops 1, the monkeys are super annoying, but Black Ops 3 kind of fixed it. But I'm trying to really base these off the original maps, and if that's the case, the monkeys are super annoying.
Honestly, I think I prefer BO1 Ascension. I don't know. It's got that more horror aspect of it, like that OG Zombies was really known for.
In Black Ops 1, so I can't put it any higher than this. And right after Ascension at number 13, I have Shangri La. I used to be a very big Shangri La hater back in the day.
Me
Even
too.
when Chronicles came out, other than the fact that the map looked nice, I just never really found an appeal to it. Yeah, Shangri La is such a beautiful map, and it's like this really tight, like difficult map. It's hard, but it's still replayable. And after playing it more and more, that's when I just kind of grew a love for it.
I appreciate this map more and more because I agree. I still don't think we've ever had a map this beautiful, ever. Honestly.
Trying to get high rounds and trying to do the Easter egg with friends, like
and it was
still
in
a really
BO1
difficult map, but it was
like
one of those maps that even though it was hard, I always found myself coming back to it to try to do better.
For real.
You can't say that for a lot of zombies maps. There's some maps that I've played where I literally play it 3 times and I'm just like, all right, this is just ridiculous. There's no reason for me to play this.
It's
but
a
Shangri-La
good
has just
difficulty
always
curve.
been that map that I will always come back to, just to always try to get a higher round or a faster run. So
I agree.
yeah, it's a lot better than I used to think it was. It's got one of the best wonder weapons ever in the baby gun, and then really cool bosses like the Shrieker and the Napalm Zombie, and just all around, it's just a really good map, really fun map, really challenging map. So, yeah. Then at number 12, I have Zetsubou no Shima from Black Ops 3.
Zetsubou lovers, bro. I appreciate that Zetsubou's getting more love over time. I think people needed to let this map marinate for a couple of years, and I mean, listen, I was a Zetsubou hater at first too, but it's like, I think what this map has done, especially with Revelations, it's made me appreciate this map so much more.
This is one of those maps that I feel like aged really well over the last couple of years, especially since it had such a terrible launch. It was not received very well.
The launch
it had a bunch
was horrible.
of glitches and bugs that just at the time just almost made the map unplayable for some people. And then the fact that it came right after Der Eisendrache, it was just like...
It was a tough
I don't know
launch,
what it was. Everybody was just expecting this to be some crazy map, especially with the way that they hyped it up. But it just didn't end up being what we thought it was going to be at the time. But it's still Bo4. I still think it's an amazing zombies map. The Easter egg's fun to do. It's got a really fun wonder weapon. I love the KT4. And the fact that the map actually does have a bunch of these bugs and glitches still in the game, but they're funny bugs and glitches. Like the fact that you can literally complete the entire Easter egg without killing a zombie. I'm not saying you should go and try and do that, but you can go watch Codename Pizza do it, and that's just insane.
That's why I like this map. Like, there's just little gimmicks. Like, this is what gives these maps character. It's like the gimmicks, the glitches, right? It's like I really hope Treyarch wakes up to this and realizes, like, when they patch things out, it does nothing but just harm the game.
That's the only zombies map in history that you can actually do that with. And the fact that this map is one of those maps that has 2 boss fights in it with the Mama Spider boss, and that's how that introduced the story of Widow's Wine and stuff like that. I thought that was such a cool feature. Yeah. So yeah, Zetsubou has really grown on me over the past couple of years. In 2016, if you'd have asked me, I probably would have had it near the bottom because I was one of the people that did not like Zetsubou when it came out.
It's true. Like, I think that this map ages better because of what we're getting recently. I agree.
But now the more that I've played it and the more that it's grown on me, I think it's an amazing zombies map. And at number 11, I have the Giant.
Dang,
to me, the Giant is honestly what saved Black Ops 3.
I agree with that,
not for me,
to be honest.
Personally, I was a Shadows
for
of
a
Evil
lot of
lover,
casuals.
but majority of the community just did not really care for Shadows at the time.
Yep.
A lot of them thought it was too difficult. They just weren't ready for that kind of super, like, complicated Easter egg, flying tentacles, whatever. So the fact that you had this map to play too was super fun. It was how a lot of people were grinding levels and getting camos.
This is my most played version of Darius, which I think is kind of crazy because most people have played the World at War or even the BO1 version more. But to me, this is my most played. And I still think, like, it's just the most fun one to just hop in, load in, and enjoy. I honestly believe it.
And it's
especially for solo. On co-op, though, I would prefer World at War.
It's literally just Darius. It's Darius with Gobblegums and AATs, and I just think it's a super fun map. You can't rank it bad because it's literally Darius. So
true.
And along with that, cracking the top 10, I have Darius
the
from
original.
World at War.
Yes.
There's so much innovation in this map, especially for 2009. The fact that this map introduced Pack-a-Punch, it had the first kind of like little Easter egg with the fly trap. It introduced the teleporter system to unlock the Pack-a-Punch, and
it is arguably the best co-op map ever. Still, I honestly, I doubt a zombies experience will ever come out that beats this map for co-op. Just, it's so amazing,
super cool, super fun,
so hectic.
One of the
it's
best,
so scary.
probably
it's
the
fun.
best co-op map to play with your friends. Camping on the catwalk with friends. Like, everybody and their mother has done it.
Yeah.
Then at number 9, I have Buried.
Buried.
To me, Buried is a super underrated map just because of it being in BO2 and it being the last Victus map. A lot of people didn't really like it at the time, but I always loved Buried.
Yeah, Buried was great.
It introduced things like perma perks, the time bomb, and the ray gun Mark II, which is probably almost just as iconic as the ray gun itself. You see the Ray Gun Mark II everywhere in zombies.
Yeah.
And to me, I think Leroy is the best companion that you can have in zombies. The fact that they were able to code some of the things that he does all the way back in 2013 on the Xbox 360, it just shows like that some of the minds at Treyarch that were not Jimmy Zielinski actually had brains and had ideas and were able to...
Jimmy didn't make this map. So many people forget about that. It was David Vonderhaar that made this map. And it's so funny because it's like so many of like the multiplayer like ideas that were built into this map make so much sense.
Innovate. And so it just helped this map just be
It makes sense why everybody likes this over
super
Tranzit
Easter egg
and
ending
Rise.
with Black Ops 2. And even though it didn't have anything crazy like a big boss fight or anything like that, if you go through and you play all the maps to do the super Easter egg, it is still pretty fun. You can do it with friends, or you can put mods on BO2 on PC and you're able to do it solo. And the fact that Buried has a really casual side that can play the map, and it still has the hardcore ability too. Because for the low rounds, it's super easy. Like, anybody can go onto Buried and get to round 30, get to round 40, and then they always talk about, oh, this is the easiest map ever. But then once you start getting into the higher rounds, if you're trying to go for round 100 and you get into the 70s and the 80s, it is really hard, and you just have to be perfect in your kind of routine of using traps and stuff like that. So it pretty much has a little bit of everything for everybody.
I think that's kind of why I like the nerfing of the paralyzer. That is like probably the one nerf I liked, because before, when this map first launched, people would just get like round 200 just spamming the paralyzer at that roof spot. And so I agree, it makes it perfect for casuals and the hardcore players like that.
And then at number 8, I have Call of the Dead from Black Ops 1.
The
Call
best
of the Dead
BO1
is
map.
Personally, probably one of my favorite maps of all time.
Yes,
trying to be a little bit objective here, so I more than likely would have put it higher on my own personal list, but Call of the Dead is such a...
We'll never get a layout like this map ever again. And it was just so amazing how they mixed it so well with this map. Like, what a great map to have George Romero on as well.
Fun map. Has super fun celebrity characters. I think that they all have at least a little bit of a meaning and a purpose in being in the game.
They lived up to his legacy, man.
You could do solo, so I've done it so many times.
Yeah.
It ended up having a really, really cool wonder weapon and then a really terrible wonder weapon. The only thing that I wish is if they actually buffed the scavenger to do damage past round 40, and if it would have been
BO3 Call of the Dead, man.
An infinite damage wonder weapon, or if it just extended into like the 60s or the 70s, it could have just made it so much better. And personally, I think that Call of the Dead has one of the best map layouts and best travel systems in any zombies map ever.
It feels like an adventure when you play.
You literally have zip lines everywhere. You've got like slingshot traps, whatever they're called.
Yeah,
like anywhere you want to go on the map, it's super accessible. You can get there very quickly, even though you have the ice and the water.
And I think the greatest part about the fast travel in this map is it doesn't cost points. It doesn't cost money. And like, I think that's kind of a big issue that you see in a lot of zombie maps later on, is like, oh, you got to use this, it costs 500 points. So it's just well made, man.
Water and the fog, like, it just doesn't hinder the map whatsoever.
Yes, I agree.
And then of course you have the father
you don't even
of
notice
zombies
it
himself, George Romero, and like, you can't say anything bad about that. Like, that is one of the coolest features that you could have in a zombies map ever. And sure, he may get a little annoying and tedious, but just working around him, the fact that he gives you a wonder waff, he gives you a perk, I don't know.
One of the best boss zombies still to this day. Like, Black Ops 1 cooked, dude. It cooked.
All the dead. Then at number 7, I have 9 from Black Ops 4. 9, to me, is the best Black Ops 4 map.
I agree.
It uses the Black Ops 4 engine perfectly. I feel like this map is literally what this engine was made for.
I agree.
The whole Black Ops 4 system, every single part of it that we all...
Like, it's such a dissonance when you play this map, and then you go and play Voyage, and it's just like... I even remember playing Voyage and being like, why are the perk statues in this map? It just doesn't make any sense, you know? It's like, they should have had a completely different system for each map like they used to do in Black Ops 2. I feel like this BO4 would have done so much better if they didn't like try to force this chaos system constantly on each map. Like, I don't know what happened back in like BO1 and BO2 where every single map had different mechanics, different design, different layout, different HUD. We just have gone from those days, for real.
Complain about and just how bad it is with every other map just absolutely works perfectly in this map. And the crazy thing is that this map was probably the least popular map out of all of the launch maps.
Yeah, it's so true.
First got introduced to them.
Yeah.
A lot of people were more excited for maps like Voyage and
I was
Blood
more excited
and Classified,
for Voyage.
and nobody really cared for 9 that much.
Yeah.
But it's such a fun map, super fun Easter egg. I love the spawn area. It's got a great spawn to be able to train zombies in. Boss fight is super fun too. Nice and bright and colorful. Just, it's such a great map. I love that map so much.
I agree.
That's the one map that I could always go back to. If I just decided to go play BO4 for some reason, that's always the map that I'm going to play.
I think it's just because it's like when you go back to Ancient Evil, you forget about the gauntlets, and that's like a massive portion of that game and the Easter egg. But it's like when you go back to 9, man, like it's an amazing launch map. It's just one wonder weapon. The Easter egg's very simple as well. Just... I love it, man. Great map.
And coming in at number 6, I have Garad Krogan from Black Ops 3. And I know a lot of people like to have this a lot higher on the list. Some people even have it lower. Just some people don't really like it. But to me, Garad Krogan is one of the most like near perfect maps that we've ever had. Yeah. It's got the...
It combines what made Reise so special from World at War while adding the Easter eggs in like BO3 in such a subtle yet perfectly balanced way. And I think that's why this map just works. It's still my favorite zombies map, to be honest.
Best boss fight out of any Treyarch zombies
map.
For real. The Nikolai boss and then the dragon boss at the same time.
I still think it's better than Citadel, for sure. Or like even Terminus's boss fight. Like the stakes, the teaser for Revelations after you beat it, like nothing was more hyped than this map and its boss fight.
I mean, super fun, super insane and hectic. It's so good.
Yeah.
And I love the Easter egg. It works so well with the gameplay, and the fact that you don't have to go do these stupid like extra side quests. You don't have to go in these other random locations to get parts or anything. Like every single part of this Easter egg, it works perfectly with the gameplay.
Yep.
And it's just I don't know why they didn't just take that same system and put it into other maps, but
or
it
BO4
just works so perfectly
in
Garad. And that's how it's able to be this very difficult map, but as soon as you master it, like it's not hard to learn, and then once you learn it, it becomes super easy. It's really repetitive. You can do it a lot. It's repeatable, and I don't know, just Garad is amazing.
It's
you
such
got the
a great
Mark
egg,
III, reintroduced the PPSH. Like there's literally videos of people reacting to the PPSH coming back that just had millions of views. Like the fact that just one gun can create.
That's what I'm saying. There will never be a map that is more hype than Garad Krovi. Especially with the way BO6 is being treated publicly online right now, where people are just dogging on it. Like, I'm telling you, this is the most hyped map we will ever see for the entirety of Zombies history.
This much hype around a map, like, how can you not say that it's one of the best maps?
Exactly.
All right, we have made it to the top 5, and there's probably going to be some people that are going to be super confused about why that I'm
excited
here,
for this.
But the real ones know that this
Space
is one of the best zombies map of all time. Coming in at number 5, we have Zombies in Spaceland. This is definitively, you cannot...
I'm so glad people love this map nowadays. Like, this map at launch was definitely dogged on because everybody was just so upset with Revelations. But it's just so nice to see people give this map its flowers now.
Argue with me. Like,
I love that.
The absolute best non-Treyarch zombies
without
map
a doubt,
ever, and it's not even close.
I agree.
Lee Ross cooked so hard with this map, and
it hurts even more because Lee Ross and Blundell were gonna make a game together for Zombies, and then it just for some reason never happened. Like, if we were getting maps like this every time, bro, BO3, people would have forgotten about that game by now, bro.
Just with the setting of an amusement park in the 1980s and just the clowns running around, like the setting, it's so much fun. The fact that it took us this long to get an amusement park map,
for real,
I don't understand why it took this long. It's got a super fun...
It took 8 years since the launch of Zombies to get an amusement park map. Hey, and guess what? We still haven't had a hospital map either. Couldn't tell you.
Easy Easter egg, and it has a very difficult boss fight. So it's one of those things where anybody can do the Easter egg, and then you have the actual challenge of doing the boss itself. And then it actually scales with the amount of players that you have. So if you've got 4 players, you've got like 4 bosses to kill, or 4 times the amount of bosses that you have to kill. And it's super hard, but it makes you want to come back and play it every single time. I love the gameplay of Infinite Warfare. This was such an amazing launch map. I hate how just the DLC just progressively just got worse and worse and worse, but the way that they implemented the Fate and Fortune cards and stuff like that was so fun.
It's just crazy like how a launch map will just work so well and then just the DLCs just fail to emulate it. It's almost like it shows how they spend much more time building a launch map than building each of the DLCs. Like, this is what the list shows, literally.
It was really cool. Yeah, I have nothing bad to say about Spaceland at all. The only thing I could say is probably the wonder weapons are a little weak, but I mean, that's literally the only bad thing that I can say about this map.
Yeah.
All right, coming into number 4, these last 4 maps, they have been considered as like the 4
Origins and
zombies.
Mob.
They're
Shadows
very interchangeable. This is just what I feel about them right now.
DE's
like I could change this list like tomorrow. These
4 horsemen
are always going to be in this 1 through 4 spot. And super interchangeable. I don't know. But at number 4, I've got Mob of the Dead.
Yes, sir.
This map is single-handedly saved Black Ops 2 and pretty much saved the entire...
Saved zombies as a whole.
Zombies community when it came out.
Literally.
So many people were really close to leaving zombies, and a lot of people did leave the zombies community during Transit, Rise, but this map just... It cooked.
It cooked.
Dude, Jason Blundell was on something different. Best non-main 4 characters in a zombies map ever, with the 4 prisoners.
I think I appreciate this map more and more because now we have the sentiment with BO6. It's like, oh, we don't need to bring Primus back for a good story. And like this map is the literal concrete proof of that statement. It's like each zombies map doesn't have to be an overarching story over 4 DLCs. It could literally just be a Mob of the Dead with 4 new characters, or like just something like a Call of the Dead even with 4 new characters, right? This map proves that zombies does not need to be an overarching story of like the Chaos storyline, the Dark Ether storyline, the Victus. Like, throw that out the window. Give us more Mob of the Dead. That's what I got to tell you.
The story that this map created, like this map, it shouldn't even be Call of Duty Zombies. The fact that this map has all this story is in just this random other universe of different maps. You could make your own game with just this zombies map.
I agree.
It fixed a lot of the issues that were in Black Ops 2, especially like with the part system. But now you're able to grab multiple parts. You don't have to just carry one at a time. A lot easier wonder weapon to build. The buildables actually made sense in this map. You get to build the plane, you fly to the Golden Gate Bridge. Brutus is a really cool boss. I think that's probably one of the best zombie bosses of all time. It's got a fun, easy Easter egg. You can do it solo.
Especially like after Blood of the Dead's Brutus, man. I still think it's done better.
Well, you can do it co-op. You get the full experience when you do it co-op, but you can still do it solo. And I just think it's a super fun map. Mob of the Dead, it's perfect. It's like all of these next 4 maps are literally perfect maps. And it literally is just how you feel on the day if you like one over the other. But I don't know, Mob of the Dead is absolutely amazing. And then coming in at number 3, normally this would be my number 1. I said for years,
it's got to be
since it came out, this was the greatest zombies map of all time. It wasn't until probably about a year or 2 ago that I actually like changed my mind about how I felt.
I think it's just because it's a little overplayed.
Is the Eisendrache from Black Ops 3.
Yes,
everybody knows this map. Everybody has seen this map. The greatest DLC 1 that we have ever had in zombies history.
I agree.
This map is pretty much a simplified Origins. If you thought that Origins was too difficult and you just couldn't really do it, you literally have the Eisendrache right here. It's pretty much the same concept and the same format, but it makes it a lot easier. It takes away a lot of the annoying steps that Origins does have.
I think that's why I like Citadel, but it's like Citadel definitely copies a lot of the formula of Der Eisendrache, and it's like, sure, it can sit at the same table, but it's sitting at the other end. That's what I'm saying.
I could go on and on about how good Der Eisendrache is. I have done that Easter egg so many times. It introduced the very first boss fight into Call of Duty Zombies, which is always cool, even though it is literally the most like basic boss that you could have. I love the bows. I do think the staves are better, but building the bows is super fun. Upgrading them, it's just, man, I can go on and on about this map. I'm probably going to make a whole separate video about these 4 maps.
I also think the reason why these 4 maps are so amazing is because in 2025, you still have people beating the Easter egg world records for each of these maps. Like, the replayability of these maps has surpassed a decade. That is like a gaming feat right in and of itself right there. Like a lot of zombie maps we just covered, their replayability was like in the months. These 4 maps are still being talked about to this day. Arguably, these 4 maps are the reason why zombies is even alive in 2025. So it's like, you gotta put respect on them.
Just so I don't make this section like an hour long in itself. So coming in at number 2, I have
Origins and Shadows 1.
I was somebody who didn't really like Origins when it came out. I was the kid who thought it was too hard and too difficult, and I didn't really understand it. But over time, I finally learned it, especially when Black Ops 3 came out and we were moving into that period of the more story-driven maps. I finally went back to Origins and I learned it, and I had so much love for this map after that. This is the BO2 Zombies map. To me, this defines Black Ops 2 Zombies. When a map can genuinely leave me speechless for just how much stuff that it has and how replayable it is, it's such a good map. This map is infinitely replayable. You could play this map 10 years ago, you could play it 10 years from now. You can always find something to do. You can speed run the Easter egg. You always find new little tips and tricks about it, new little Easter eggs. It's just, man, I don't know.
It's goated, man.
It's Origins.
It's literally like the reason why Zombies is still alive. This map is arguably why BO3 is even great. Like, and why his #1 pick is Shadows. Because if it wasn't for this map, there would have been no hype for Shadows. Literally.
Dude, it's Origins.
Yeah.
You got the very first group of 4 kind of wonder weapons, the elemental wonder weapons and the staves. Yeah, I gotta stop myself. I'm over here like, smiling and cheesing over Zombies maps.
Yeah.
This is bad.
We oiling Origins up out here.
In at the #1 spot. This is,
Shadows,
in my opinion, the greatest Zombies map that has ever been made. I know a couple people that agree with me. I know a lot of people that honestly think.
All I gotta say is they made a roller coaster for this map. No other Zombies map has ever had that type of publicity, man.
This map is terrible. But
that's all I gotta say.
Personally, I think that Shadows of Evil is the greatest Zombies map that has ever been created.
Yes.
This is the most beautiful and just the greatest atmosphere in a Zombies map ever.
So much love poured into this map.
I do not think that it will ever be topped.
Yeah.
I don't know what they were on in 2015, but
Pofkin rocks or something, bro.
This map is so beautiful. It's so detailed too. You can walk around this map and just even like a little corner in the side of a building, you can just see all the details like on papers and newspaper clippings and just little scratches on the wall and just things that are just super like
this is why BO3 had a 2-year wait since BO2 because of this map, and they cooked. It was well deserved,
and
this map was worth the wait.
The fact that they were able to do this 10 years ago, it's insane.
Yeah,
this map has the greatest wonder weapon of all time.
And it's the greatest wonder weapon.
Literally a ginormous alien that shoots a black hole and just sucks in all of the zombies. How do you top that? And the fact that it has that, and it has a freaking super death flaming sword that you can also upgrade, and it makes it even better. It has an amazing map layout. I love the district system and the fact that it's really big, but it's still easily accessible. You can traverse it really easily with the tram, and it's so awesome.
All I want to say is that I really hope that one of these days we see a Zombies map crack the top 4. And I'm gonna be honest, it might not ever happen within our lifetimes, and that is kind of sad to say. But ladies and gentlemen, want to give a big shout out to Mattress here. Thank you for letting me check out this video. I'm liking, I'm subbing. Make sure you guys go and check out this video as well. And ladies and gentlemen, that is the ultimate ranking map tier list for 2025.